The past weeks and even months, there has been a lot of this conversation on AI for startups. Especially Mark Altman said that he believes that in the future, near future, there will be startups which has only one person and they can become unicorns. And there were other discussions, conversation about that. Uh, but many specialists agree that in the future, many more things are possible, like in the startup world, in the tech startup world, with AI. And what is very interesting, so I have tested that myself, especially in the area of programming. Specifically, I have done that with Replit, and I was truly amazed. Right, I'm not a programmer. I've been running IT projects, so I have a certain feel for that, but I don't really know how to program. And I just started, to from scratch to build a software just to see how it works, and it was truly amazing. Right, what during that period where I learned about that, found out something really interesting is that in the past, when there was new technology, usually always the younger generation was much ahead because the older generation just could not follow up. And to me, I will give some examples afterwards. That has kind of changed because you see equally like there are people my age or older, and there are younger guys, 18, 19, whatever. Some are extremely active and really work with AI tools, and others not at all. Uh, to give you a concrete example, right? I set up like a year ago. I initiated, I could initiate a startup program here in China at the Zhejiang University International Business School. So Zhejiang University, that's the university where the DeepSeek founders graduated. And so I could start that program 1 year ago. So when I started this year's program about 3 weeks ago, right in my second class, I was pointing out that everything has completely changed now because in the past, problem was always for a startup, for a tech startup, that in order to build the MVP, the minimal viable product, meaning like a product with just the function, the minimal functionalities, uh, if you don't have that, you will not get funding. But if you don't have funding, you cannot build an MVP because that costs time and money and expertise and so on and so forth, right? And so that was always like a little bit the chicken and the egg problem. And that now has completely changed. I mean, I tested it myself. So basically, an MVP, you can get it done in probably 1 day, maybe 2 days, right? And what is really interesting, I mean, those guys are something in between 18 and 23, 24. Majority of them they didn't realize that they I think looked at me with like empty eyes. It was just like listening to be polite, but somehow not really sorry catching the drift, right? And so in the end, that's the point, right? And I see the same with like people in my age, older, a little bit younger. Some of those people are just curious, don't limit themselves, right? Because you have to think out of the box. It's a whole different world, and you really have to embrace those tools, right? It's just really like, okay, let's go for it, right? It's really like that. Can you open your mind and just go for it and try, or do you limit yourself and have I don't know a lack of confidence or whatnot? And that is exactly the same for people 50 plus and for people like younger than 20, right? So again, in my class, I told them, most of them, I asked them also who uses AI. It's not so much activity. And then many of them, didn't really react at something. One team, funny enough, was a team of like many software engineers. They picked it up and they built their MVP, and they built it within 1 day. And those were software engineers, right? I'm not a software engineer, I'm once more. And those software engineers, they freaked out. I mean, they know, right? So they were like, what we did here, that would have taken weeks. And they did it in 1 day, right? So they freaked out. So it's not only me, like somebody who knows nothing about software, the software engineers freaked out. Still today, when I talk to, in that program, there are like 14 teams with startup ideas, mainly tech ideas. I told them several times, right? Build your MVP because it's also important, obviously, in MVP to show potential clients and investors that what you really want to implement, right? And so far, they come up to me is like, yeah, I'm not a tech guy, I cannot do it, and so on and so forth. So, long story short, in order to give an example for everybody, but also for my students, I want to try something. I want to try to build an MVP, just like we're kind of MVP within very little time for one of those startups idea. And I am going to use Replit, right? Because that's an amazing tool. That's a tool where you just can program by prompting, right? And that tool will set you up like front end, back end, and whatnot, right? Okay, let's go for that. So I'm not fully sure where that's going, but I'm rather positive we get somewhere. Let's therefore what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I will open Replit, or I will show you Replit. Where is it? Yeah, I can use Replit, but not Teams. So it seems. Okay, let's go. Okay, so that's Replit, right? Now, what I am doing is what I want to try to do is so that startup idea I want to have like build an app for, like an MVP. I don't know, it's like a 4 or 5 page pitch deck, something like that. So I will load up that pitch deck and we'll tell Replit to build a software based on that pitch deck, like with very little text, just the main concept. Right? Let's look at that. So that's called the CEO Bridge startup, right? So let's try that, right? So I'm uploading the pitch deck. What does it say? Okay. It cannot. It says it cannot read the file type, but it can use. It can use the can use it in that project. Okay, let's see. So I will right now build a software that provides the functionalities uh, presented with this pitch deck. Let's see what we get here. So I just say start building. So one sentence as a prompt. Let's see. And of course that should take, of course, some time. So you will, of course, the agent replication, it will work in the background. So that will take time, right? But you can do something else aside of that. So it's not really time, it's not really time lost, right? Yeah, now so it's telling me, I'll help summarize the objectives for that project based on the attachment pitch deck, right? Looking at the provided materials and so on and so forth, right? Now, next thing, Replit asks me some additional question, right? For instance, whether I want to already build a SQL database, whether I already want to have advanced AI simulations. So that's a functionality which is required. So typically, maybe it would be a better idea to go like with the minimal solution. But let's try and click analytics dashboard. Yeah, let's click all of them. So all the functionalities, and let's see what it does. Now here on the right side, right, I will see basically the program that it builds, right? That also will take a little bit of time. So let's see what we're getting here. So it says designing visual preview. Okay. All right. So it puts on the left side the name of the startup. I already get some links where I can click on. All right. I already get like, a status or a dashboard. I mean, it's already amazing. So yeah, maybe to explain, right? So what that software should do is it basically should help students. I mean, the problem is that students who want to get internship, they struggle to find it. And then the companies struggle to find the good students. And the problem is also that these students do not have enough experience, so it's hard for the company to measure, to decide whether the students are good or not. So what the tool does is, for once, it's going to match students and companies, so both can become members on that platform here. And secondly, the companies, they can provide some simulations, right? So some projects where, like in a simulated way, the student can show how he solves these projects, right? So like this, the student can, because there's a problem, like in the universities and whatnot, students do not maybe really do really practical examples sometimes. So here, the company can really provide, simulations which really represents the normal work they do, and then the students can solve that, and then they can get points for that or certificates or whatnot, and based on that, then the companies can decide whether they want to work with the students, right? So the students have like this possibility to better be presented on that platform. So it's still doing something here. So probably the back end. But if you look at that, right? So you can see here like a dashboard, right? Simulation. So the simulations is like these projects where the students can show how well they know their stuff. Skills is a page which shows what skills the students have based on those simulations. And then the network, I guess that's the network is just an overview on the participants in that tool. So as said, so I have, again, I uploaded the pitch deck, and to me, the pitch deck kind of was not fully clear how that shall be implemented. And when I look here, right, so you have like progress. So that's maybe like on the tests, on the simulations one did. Yeah, out of 8 simulations, which may be provided by companies, 3 were done, right? And in percentage, it's 68. And based on that simulations, the top skills are ranked here, right? Um, Below here, the student can choose simulations, right, which are provided by companies. So there's one like data analysis project, marketing campaign, or project management, right? And I can go here like, okay, continue simulations, or start. Yeah, this one, continue simulations, that obviously I already have started as a student, and here I can start a new simulation. So I can choose the simulations to get points, right? So again, I'm just I have no clue, right? So the system based on the pitch deck made that up, and I'm just explaining what the system did, but it's quite impressive, I think, right? So here's a chart, right? Here you can see like the top skills and so on and so forth, right? Now let's see. So the first step is done, and it's like I can see on the right side, right? So it's kind of a login page or registering page. And on the right side, on the left side, also interesting, it's telling me what it has done, right? So it says, for one, authentication system that's completed, basic UI framework is completed, student and company view is completed, simulation listening page completed, skills assessment page completed, networking functionality completed, profile management completed. So basically, that I will not call, that's not yet an MVP, the upper part, right? But it's basically already something to show the functionalities. Let's see how it looks like, right? Based once more on 4 or 5 pages pitch deck, huh? And then it's telling me remaining work, backend API integration, simulation engine, setting up AI, and so on, analytical dashboard, testing, and so on and so forth. Fifth, deployment, and so on, right? And then behind is effort estimation, 2 to 3 days, 5 to 7 days. So that's interesting, right? So it's possible that the agent, I doubt it that the agent will take so long, but for sure on my side it will take very, very little effort, right? Because I just have to say like go ahead, and then I might need some corrections and some testing, but on my side it will be very little effort. So the machine, the agent behind will work, right? But now again, so we have like a login and we have a register opportunity here. Let's register. And let's put my email here. Um, yeah, so that looks good. Sorry, that's my username, huh? Mark test and the email. The password. Uh-huh. Confirm password. Right. So I can already, I mean, look at that, right? So here it asks me, I'm a student, I'm a company. So it already made that split, right? So let's do what it does. Maybe there's an error message, but else create account. Look at that. So I will save the password. So I can log in. It created the account, right? So now I'm a student. And here again, I see the progress. So that's the progress of out of my simulation. I did out of 8 simulations, I did 3, right? And based on that, it's creating the skills. And below, there are simulations I started but didn't complete, right? So 62%, 15%, and that's a new simulation, right? So typically that's me, I assume, right? It's not my project. I just took the pitch deck, but basically the company can set up simulations and can define how many simulations maybe I, as a student, need to do in order they can measure my qualities, right? And here, like I have like a graphical analysis, and here like more detail about my skills. And here below, I see what companies have a certain interest. So I believe here, if a student, if I'm looking for traineeships, internships, I can click on here, and then that will open up, and then I will be able to do the simulations which the company provided for me or is asking me to do. Right. Again, this based on a pitch deck, just showing the spin effort I had loading up the PowerPoint, writing one sentence, develop a software based on that PowerPoint, right? Now, so here are the dashboard. Oh, that works already. Let's see. Maybe I get an error message here. I'm not sure. I mean, let's click the dashboard. Maybe that is already the dashboard. Okay. So the dashboard is the overview that works already. Simulations. Here I just see all the simulations, right? So yes. Again, I mean, these simulations are not this just like test simulations created, but again, these test simulations were created by the system, right? So it's like it looks like a real one, like data analyst, marketing campaign, project management, right? Um, then I have the side where I just can see the skills. Okay, so it's showing me what skills I have in percentage and what not, right? And then it's even recommending me what developments, what I still should do, where I should get better, what simulations maybe I should do, right? Um, yeah, and here, I mean, I said nothing of that, right? So here it's telling me like um, my level and the industry level. So the green one is me, so I'm better than the industry. Programming the industry is better. The industry average is better than I, right? Okay, so that's simulations. I know that skill. Sorry, let's go to the network. Right. And here I see the companies who are interested in internships, and here I can choose from the simulations I want to do. Right. So dashboard kind of shows it all, And then I have the simulations. So now the dashboard is split up in simulations, skills, network, right? Now I'm curious. Let's see if I click on a simulation, what will happen? Probably it will crash or do nothing. Probably do nothing. Let's see. Yeah. So I think here, yeah, yeah, nothing happens here. Let's click on the start simulation. Oh, so yeah, okay. Here again, nothing happens, right? So as probably said, right? So the simulation is not real; it's just a test. So that's it, right? So that's, for instance, here I would now move on and say like, I mean, for one, I would say like that part on the left, move on, right? Develop further, or I could go here and say like, okay, build. Whatever, in order to just to show an example is like uh, build a real test version for real simulation when clicking on that link, continue simulation, something like that. Okay, that's that. So that's the student side, right? Now let's see how whether I can log out here. Settings, I can log out, right? I can, maybe. I have settings, I have profile. Huh. Oh, I have the company view. Okay, I have the company view here too, right? Right. So that, of course, I think doesn't yet fully make sense as a student. I should not have the company view. So maybe here with my user, I have two views. Typically, I only should have the student views, right? But here, so it looks, look at that, right? So now I take a company view. It looks different, right? So is that again is the dashboard. So here, I can see my simulations, right? Who did my simulations? Um, I can see all the profiles. Probably participated or I looked at. I don't know. Oh yeah, the saved candidates, right? So I can mark and save some candidates. And here I see the contact requests coming from the candidates, I believe, right? And here again, I see just a different, right? Than the other screen. I see the candidates which have done my simulations and so on and so forth, right? And then I can choose from these candidates and maybe see how they're done, right? And here below, I see my simulations again, a different view, and I can like add, oh yeah, here create up here, create new simulations, right? So I guess when I put on simulation, I just see the individual screen. Yeah, exactly. So here I see the simulations. Uh, Here the button continue simulation, I think doesn't make much sense because I don't want to do the simulation. I just I wanna see how the simulations were done. And then let's see skills. Here I see financial analyst certification, job skills, technical skills. So here, what the skills here mean, that doesn't fully make sense yet, right? But again, maybe if you looked at the pitch deck, maybe for you it would not be fully clear what it does, right? So, but here I would like with just some few prompts, maybe I would improve, or I just would let the program over here, right? Let's see the network. Yeah, so that basically the network. So I see here top companies on TubeRich. I'm not sure whether it makes sense to see other companies. That would be rather the student view. So here I would maybe rather see students, right? Let's see where we are. So it's like yeah. Okay, that's about it, right? So but the student side very good. And here, as said once more, I have put a several pages spin slide deck, and I have written one sentence. That's all. And so the structure is already very good. For the student view, very good. And for the The dashboard for the company view, I think, is good. The simulations, to me, seems more like the student view, and the skills. Yeah, I'm not sure what it shows me there, but again, that will just cost me a few more prompts to improve that. And then, of course, when giving the prompt, you have to wait, right? So what I also can do here, if I have print screen, so I even can take a tool, or I can draw a little print screen, just take the print screen and say like make it like that, and then it will produce that screen. Okay, that's about it. So I'll stop here, right? Again, the time it took me effective were to set it up 2 minutes, and then to go through and test a little bit, like 10 minutes, right? First step. And I think showing that to an audience, it's already quite meaningful. Okay, so looking at that, a few minutes time. So nobody, please, nobody from the startup side tell me that you cannot build MVP, minimal viable product, because you're not a software engineer, you do not have time, and so on and so forth, right? It really costs very little time, and it doesn't need to be perfect for now, right? So it doesn't need to be like a working software which you can roll out to everybody. It's just the first step, the minimal viable product.